And as Jacques said, don't be polite, you know. Ask the hard-hitting questions, whatever you feel is necessary. And unlike politicians, you'll probably answer them for you, okay? Okay. This guy, where are we going? This guy up here, Andrew. Yeah? He's got a mic here.
What's the difference between this ideal and the communist ideal?
Communism has social stratification. Communism has banks and money. Communism has armies and navies. Communism has a government. We have none of those things.
Communism is also interested in the labor class. We are too, but we want to eliminate the labor as soon as possible and automate using the best of science and technology. They never really had a plan or a method.
The communists. Communism isn't radical enough for this age. It was great a couple of hundred years ago, maybe, but it doesn't. It's too old-fashioned a method based on opinions rather than technology.
Okay.
Socialism along with it, too old-fashioned and not enough detail of what to do about it. Socialists never came up with how transportation would be designed, how schools would be designed, how to change human values, no detail. So it was the beginning, but it always became corrupt. Socialism and communism became corrupt because it's subject to those things.
They also had elitism too, which helped the corruption.
Yes.
Okay.
If all the nations agreed to your plan, how do you see it being implemented?
Well, first we want to do a major motion picture, as we talked, in terms of implementation. I mean, going back before, if they all agree. We want to do a major motion picture to show what life could be like in the future, show what we're missing, because most people have no idea. We look at it as kind of therapy for transition, social therapy for transition. And we'd like people to walk out of that film and say, well, why don't we do this today? At the end of the film, we'd like to show that we're breaking ground on the first city. We'd like to build the first city, and in the first city, we would have the planners for the next city and people who are making all sorts of media, books, videos, gaming, everything to introduce this direction, because it's really an educational educational problem at this time. They have to understand it. It's not that we could just build a city and then have people move in if they don't have a good understanding of this. So this is what we need. We see how we need to go. And we'd have the first city, and people from all over the world would come and then hopefully build another city in their country and go on like that.
Nice. Could you talk more about the technologies that would be used for the cities beneath the ocean to deal with the pressures and other things that you may want to talk about?
Technology of the cities in the ocean to deal with the pressures.
What's it for? They're not cities under the ocean. That's a mistake. The cities in the sea are designed to restore the reefs. And where I said we dumped 65 tons of nerve gas to clean out all the ships pump their bilge into the ocean. You can't keep doing that without destroying the ocean environment. And the Japanese are overfishing, according to some countries. They're overfishing because they can sell it. But and in Africa, natives are killing animals. They're called poachers. If you don't supply food for them, and they have no access to food, they're going to be poachers, whatever they can do to get by.
You'd have to put the mic up there.
What was that?
He's asking about the technologies in the cities and the sea.
About the technologies?
Yeah, like more exactly, how would you do it? How can you build in these sorts of remote places, like the actual technology that we would use? I understand the social implications, but more of the kind of physics of it.
The reverberation, and these
What
gadgets don't
technol-
work too good.
Yeah, Jacques hard of hearing, that's why I have to tell him, what type of technology would you use for those remote places such as cities in the sea?
Well, we have multi-decked agriculture hanging under the cities in the sea. And there are many things you can grow in salt water, food. And then we would build a hydroponics farm in the city. Hydroponics is soilless agriculture. Where areas of the earth do not have arable land, we will build hydroponic farms, soilless agriculture. And we will, instead of sending packages of food or to Africa or India, what we would do is dehydrate the food, take the fluids out, so that a vat this size will feed many people. So the technology of the future is to keep sonar running through the oceans, all through the oceans. The American military already has sonar in most of the oceans to detect enemy submarines. So we will use sonar for tsunami. If you get a big wave, it notifies every land around there that a tsunami will be there in 5 hours or 2 hours. Do you understand? But if a tsunami occurs suddenly, there's a, I don't know if you can understand this, there's a concrete wedge in the ocean a half a mile away from the island, and that parts the waters so it doesn't do damage. But building a dam in front of the whole island is the old way, the wrong way. It's good for contractors, building a dam. Yes. You want to take it?
Sorry. Sorry. Hi, do you think it's possible to make a peaceful transition to this economy, say through one industry at a time, or does the system have to completely fail before it's possible?
We don't think there's enough time for people to make a peaceful transition. That's just not where they're at. They're not looking for anything else. People really aren't educated well enough on behaviorism, on the systems that society promote, and unfortunately, it looks like it will take a crash before people look for something else. They have to become disillusioned with their elected leaders and be homeless before they look for other alternatives. And then it's usually, what's in it for me? They look for the wrong reasons.
I can't, but he had his hand up a long time.
There we are. You got this guy, Richard? Yeah.
What are all the different ways that we can help the Venus Project?
Did you get that?
Yeah, different ways I could help the Venus Project. Well, there's how to get involved on our website. And on the Zyguides Movement site, there are a lot of things that you can do. We also have the Venus Project Design Team for technical people that you can go and sign up. The VenusProjectDesign.com, right? That's going live today. Animators are doing hundreds of animations of Jacques' sketches, and he has literally thousands of them. New inventions, new designs for a new world. We'd like to use some of those in the film, and I'd like to use them in our films, and Peter Joseph will be using some of them too. Really help in any ways that you can. If you really can't do anything, if you're not in a field that you can help with, get our material, learn as much as you can about it, and talk to others, because as I said, it's really an educational problem right now. You know, talk about the new value system.
And if you do nothing, nothing will happen.
We have
You
no
leave
power.
here.
We don't have any money. We can't make it happen. A lot of people come to us and say, well, you should be doing this, or hey, how about this idea? And they put it on us, and we're up to here with our work now. We work all the time. So we really like people to come with ideas and see how they can implement it, and we'll work with you.
Okay, guy at the top there.
Jacques, in regards to eliminating money bartering and sort of trade value, one example we thought of how this might come in automatically is products that are made with personal touches. If someone as a hobby makes a piece of furniture or clothing that has a personal touch and other people want it and they attribute value to that, would bartering not start coming back in as a result?
You're talking about if there's scarcity of something that many people would want, you feel
If
barter
there's
would come in?
scarcity as a result of someone having a personal touch to something that they make, you know, in terms of arts and crafts, and other people would like a piece of that.
Do you think people would start bartering for things that are scarce, like art pieces that people
Only
have made?
during the transition. But if you have, say you have a collection of 10 or 15 paintings by very famous artists after the social change, we ask you, please, why don't you put your paintings out so all people can enjoy them? He says, no, they're mine. So we put that in the newspaper. He said, no, they're mine. That'll take care of the problem. So you see, people would be inclined, if they have a wonderful collection of medias or personal collection, that would circulate around and show everybody. Personal possessions is almost shameful.